Shakira had her day in court. This was supposed to be day one of her trial in Spain for not paying nearly $16 million in back taxes. And she did show up, and we thought this was going to be the big showdown. She walked into court.
She was in the courtroom,
Yeah.
ready to fight.
And
we
then,
thought.
And then
She didn't.
the fight was over. She
folded.
Yeah, and announced that she was settling. And the settlement, look, she's avoided, the best part of the settlement for her is she's
No
not
prison.
No prison.
Yeah, I mean,
she
could have gone to prison for years.
Right.
So she avoided that,
But
she is
financially-
paying a fortune in back taxes and penalties.
Yeah, she's paying around $19 million in back taxes and penalties. Of that portion, there's a $7.6 million fine. So, you know, the government was originally going around for $16 million. It sounds like it ended up taking so long that she's paying more than that on the eve of trial. So, yeah, this is a game of chicken where she probably had some fancy lawyers and they didn't have the goods and eventually just settled the case. No time behind bars.
Yeah, so it ended up costing her $3 million more than if she had just said, all right, they called you out, you said you owe 15.8, just pay it.
So this is the opposite of Diddy, where he settles like that.
Right.
This dragged on for several years. Now she's saying kind of the same thing. She's saying, look, I don't want to go through the trial. I'm worried about my kids.
Right.
I don't know necessarily what the outcome is going to be.
When she's got kids.
That's right. Why didn't that happen earlier?
Again, I don't, Derek, maybe you're right that her lawyers were souping her up like as if she's got a chance here, but as they got here on day one, they clearly realized they don't have the goods. Otherwise, they wouldn't have taken a deal that is costing her $3 million more than what she owed.
Because the penalties just kept growing the longer she waited to settle.
Yeah.
I think initially you get your lawyers and they get a head full of steam saying they're overreaching, they're going for too much money, and then you sit down and look at the facts at the end of the day that you're going to have to prove at trial, and you say, hey, there's also a prison sentence over this, so maybe we can cut a deal and get the prison out of the way and just pay the money.
But
she's worth a ton of money. She's worth over $200 million.
I know, but they knew that years ago.
Well,
and yet they still fought.
It's 3 years of taxes.
Well,
you can keep track of millions of dollars, you know?
Who wants that hanging over your head for 3 years?
By the way, I hope she's been paying her taxes since then.
Fingers crossed. She's still pissed off at the Spanish government.
Yeah, and she basically, while announcing the settlement, said that she was really ticked off and feels like the Spanish government singles out celebrities to make an example of them.
By the way, that's a true statement, that a lot of times they will go after celebrities for that very reason, to deter other people so they can see it.
That's true, and if the celebrity would just pay the taxes in the first place, they wouldn't be able to make an example of you.
Solid point.
Hi, Harvey. Hi, Charles. It's Connie here in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Okay, today is actually official first Santa hat day of the season, just for the record. And Shakira here. Why didn't you just pay your bills to begin with? Why would you let it go so far? What? Just pay the bills. You're not going to want to go to jail. You have children. Of course, they would set an example if they could. Like, come on, just pay the bills.
Well, she's paying the bills, at least the way they've settled.
Are we not supposed to talk about her
the
antlers?
I'm not going to do it.
No?
Because it's just going to encourage people.
Right.
We are going to move on.
Bah humbug, no antlers.